Brandon Cutler here from AEW, and I hope you guys have an awesome podcast with the MonsterCast.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here. You're watching the MonsterCast with Jack and Ryan. A big shout out to those fellas. Good people. Check them out.
Here's your host of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster, Jack and Ryan.
No old dude should have an arm that big. So
yeah, there you go.
This is more of a opinionated question, obviously. I mean, most of the stuff everything we pretty much say on the show is opinions, obviously. We're not journalists or anything. But I would like to know this, because there was a weak rumor floating around the internet about after Stephanie stepped down and Vince came back in charge, and everybody was so worried about Triple H losing his job, which I still am, by the way, that he's going to eventually step down or get fired. What would a Triple H Stephanie promotion away from WWE look like? And we talked a very small amount about this right before the show, but you brought up a really fucking good point that I had not thought about. And I said everybody would be expecting it to be a Tony Khan AEW or a WWE light, like an NXT possibly. But I think it would be closer to an Impact or a Ring of Honor situation, because they don't have nearly as much money as a Vince or the Khans. And you brought up a really good point, and you can go ahead and share that now about the ones you know, basically. It's all about who you know.
It doesn't matter if Triple H and Stephanie personally have the money to start the company in the same way that Shad Khan or Vince McMahon or whoever had, because they've got enough experience in the business to pull in outside investors. You can literally go to any company that you've got contacts with, or any corporation, any like venture capitalist, whatever, and say, hey, we're starting our own thing. Here's the level of experience that we have. Here's the success that we've had in the past. Here's what we ran and what numbers it was doing when we ran it. Would you like to invest in that? You don't have to have your own seed money to do this.
And the great thing about it, by the way, is they can't get sued as a private company for like tampering with other shit either. Like, so they could talk to the people that they know right now.
Technically, none of them. Technically. Contract tampering is for entities under the same umbrella. So like NFL teams talking to other players on other teams. There's no real legal issue with talking to someone when they're still under contract somewhere else about like, hey, when your contract is up, we'd like you to come over. Where it becomes a legal issue is when the person that's under contract like tries to force a reason to break the contract, like let's say Andrade was starting fights with Sammy specifically to get out of the contract because Triple H said, hey, if you can get out of your contract, wink fucking wink, then we'll hire you over here. That's an issue, but it'd be an issue more still for Andrade than it ever would be for Triple H. There's no like real contract tampering legislation or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's the same reason
Understood.
You can poach fucking IT workers from other companies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can poach all the behind the scenes guys. So like what you were saying, like as long as they can get the investors and how many people they've known in the past and how many people they know that work there now, I do believe with what you said, it could be AEW level with all that. I mean, a lot of stuff would have to go your way, break your way, but yes.
You'd have to wait for a lot of talent's shit to be up, and for them to be willing to wait for other people's shit to be up to have a big enough roster to start the company initially.
Don't you think that they could use that time with putting all their ducks in a row and getting all those let's say the rumor became a little bit more than a rumor, right? Like when we were hearing about the AEW thing at the beginning, like, man, there's possibility of the Young Bucks and Omega starting their own fucking promotion, right? So, I mean, if we all watched that BTE, dude, that was like one of the most watched BTEs ever, that January 1st or whatever. So if it became something like that, you're not going to sit there and tell me that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and AJ Styles and whoever ain't saying, we're going to put a pause on any contract negotiations, because you know how WWE is. They want you to sign way before your contract is up. until we can finally see what Triple H and Stephanie are actually doing, because we might want to go there instead.
And I feel like they're already doing that anyway, just from the existence of AEW, so it wouldn't really be that different than the way the contracts are handled now, too. A lot of people aren't doing these weird, like, oh yeah, my contract's up in 8 months, so I'm going to go ahead and re-sign for another 3 years, 5 years, whatever. A lot of people are waiting because they want to play that negotiation against each other. So,
and we already know one person he's going to get and who's really good at his job in scouting other talent. That's William Regal. So, like, if Triple H leaves, I promise you Regal's right behind, dude.
Yep, especially if he takes his son. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting scenario. The issue is, like, timeline-wise, you've got however many talents he would want to pick up, or however many talents you feel like you need to start a good wrestling promotion. Pretty much all of them are going to be considered under contract, and you'd have to basically tell people, like, hey, we've got a thing coming up, like, it's not ready yet, but we need you to sit on ice, don't sign anything with anybody else, it'll be ready to go in 3 or 4 months. Like, how do you hold those people over without some kind of monetary guarantee for their time while they're waiting?
Well, I guess that depends on how. Okay, so here's the thing with that. Depends on, one, how good they are with their own money. If they're, can they last 3 or 4 months, right? And then you could work that into their contract for like an extra, like a signing bonus or something for that 3 or 4 months that they waited, type deal.
Yeah. It would just depend on how quickly they're able to get shit together, and then how many people's contracts come up at once. Because you can't, even with like 10 good wrestlers whose contracts are all coming up at once, that's not really enough. Like, you need a pretty big.
You're gonna need 20 good to great wrestlers, and then you can fill out the rest with indie guys until you can get other contracts to come over.
Yeah, you probably
got to remember Tony Khan was out there signing everybody, and then when other people saw how awesome it was, and that's when he was able to upgrade his talent from WWE when they weren't being used properly, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you got to get this guy." It's like, okay, yeah, upgrade. Let their contract run out, and we just upgraded the entire roster in the right before your very eyes.
Marco Stunt, come back, baby. I don't. I mean, you could do the thing. You can get the Janellas and the that kind of stuff to kick everything off. But then I feel like it'd be kind of the same situation as what happened with AEW, where then people's contracts come up, then you start pulling people in, then your original people get kind of shafted or leave. It's plausible. It's possible.
I'm just saying it's not just WWE guys that he could poach either. There's guys that really love Triple H and Stephanie over in AEW too, that if they're not getting what they think they should be getting, and there's a third option out there, yeah, like this could be real fucking interesting.
I honestly think it would kill WWE. I mean, the amount of people that like Vince and not Triple H is, what, like 0? Like maybe Brock Lesnar? That's it? Like, who else is there that's like, oh,
Cody.
I have problems with Triple H, but not with Vince? And literally the only person I can think of is Brock Lesnar.
I mean, are we really going to sit here and believe that Cody said that his favorite wrestler growing up was Triple H?
Triple H, yeah.
He said that because that motherfucker knew that Vince was on his way out. Triple H is in a prime position. He wants that world title still.
No,
I'm not saying they have any. I'm not saying they have major heat with each other or anything, but I'm not seeing Triple H put fucking that title on Cody. But Vince will.
I don't know. We'll see. Either way, yeah, I think it's plausible. I don't know that. I don't know that it would.
Would you like to see it? Just from a fan standpoint, would you like to see the third option out there, the ECW, if you will, come out of nowhere? Would that be fucking awesome?
I would rather Tony Khan hire Triple H as booker for Ring of Honor. That's more interesting to me. Because you would have that same connection. You'd still be able to bring in the same people. They would go to Ring of Honor. That would be your other promotion. That would be your third.
I think that's what a lot of people wanted Regal to do, was to go down to Ring of Honor. Yeah. But I guess, yeah, Triple H is obviously a better... I mean, Triple H has got more experience with booking, so yeah, that makes sense. But would Triple H actually accept a lesser role? Or do you think he would even see it as a lesser role, or would you?
I think okay,
this is a new NXT, and with my health conditions, this is a perfect spot for me to still have a huge impact on the business type deal.
I think I don't think it would be posited as a downgrade. It would be like, hey, Tony Khan's pitch for that whole thing to me should be, I have this other brand, I'm stretched a little bit thin. I want to bring this up to the same level as AEW and as WWE. You've got a lot of experience doing that with NXT when we were competing against you directly. Like, obviously we had the same time slots, but this was our main brand against your second brand. and they were pretty even for a while. So if you want to run that's where I would go with it. I wouldn't posit it at all as like a downgrade. I would say I want this to be just as good or better than what we're running over here, and then have it as a place where we can do talent swaps and interesting booking back and forth, pretty much the same way that it is now, but like give him a lot of control over that. I don't think it'd be a downgrade. It's not any more of a downgrade than what he's basically doing right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now he's going to start getting all of his scripts torn up every Monday morning going forward, because apparently, from what we heard, is Vince has slowly started creeping onto the side of, hey, I need more creative stuff. He wants to get involved in more of the creative shit. He's back at his office with the dinosaur head. He's got all this shit going on. Like, you can slowly still see what we said was going to happen a while back, that he wasn't going to stay gone. He was going to come back. All these changes that Triple H just did, good, mid, great, not great, whatever. Vince is going to come in and it's just going to be bad. And all those people that Triple H just brought back probably gone right after WrestleMania. So if that ends up happening and he demoralizes Triple H like Stephanie was demoralized when he came in and destroyed her team that she had, to the point where she said, okay, fuck this, I'm just done, I'm out. To get to that point, as high as you are in that company, in Stephanie's case, to get to that point, that's got to be really fucking bad. So if Triple H gets to that point, I could easily see, if Triple H and Stephanie want to do it, obviously, because it's not like they need to do it, I don't think. I think they're set on money. I think they're okay.
Yeah.
But if they want to do it, I think it's highly plausible that it could happen, and I personally would love to see a third brand. Not that I need more shit to watch for the show, because I already watch a ton of wrestling as it is.
Yeah, we don't even cover WWE shit anymore, really.
Not really. There's nothing happening.
Not the results.
There's
yeah.
nothing happening.
The Sami Zayn shit is really interesting. The Bloodline
yes,
shit.
but I can't talk about the same shit every week when only one little thing happens every week.
Yeah.
They're not really advancing it forward. It's really the same shit over and over. At a certain point, it's like, well, okay, what do you want to talk about the Sami Zayn thing? I can't talk about the Sami Zayn thing for even 5 minutes every week, unless I'm repeating the shit that I said the previous week.
Here's the latest report on McMahon and the creative shit. It says, initially it was said that McMahon hadn't returned to the office at all, but that has not been the case. Not only that, but he's reportedly been unhappy with certain departments since his return. However, in the first talent meeting held Friday before WWE SmackDown, Levesque assured everyone that he was still the decision maker in terms of creative. That said, he did mention a scenario in which McMahon could suggest changes, or that folks he talks to about creative direction could suggest changes. But at the end of the day, the final call is Levesque's to make. In the meantime, uncertainty surrounding a potential final remains, as do worries among current talent. Just days after their last meeting, Levesque held another talent meeting ahead of WWE Raw to reiterate everything he said last Friday. So, it's the same
But do we buy that, though? Do we buy that?
I think Triple H is being told, hey, you're still the guy to greenlight everything at the end of the day. Everything that, I'll still make some suggestions here and there, and if you want to adopt them and you think they're better, then you can do them. But hey, man, it's still all your call. The question is how long that lasts. So what he's reiterating to talent sounds like, this is the situation as it is right now. I'm still in control of everything. Don't worry. We're not going to go back to shit where somebody's coming in and changing up everything on Monday. But if something good comes in, I'll do it. But just so you know, you don't have to worry about anything. The direction that I've told you guys that everything's going in, everything's okay. He doesn't have the power to overrule me on anything, so don't worry about it. That's what it sounds like.
Here's the huge issue with this that nobody's really talking about, is the season we're in for WWE is peak season. We got Royal Rumble this coming Saturday. WrestleMania is only in a few months. Well, do we really think that Vince McMahon is not going to take full fucking control if he's not liking what he's seeing by the time WrestleMania rolls around so that he can fucking run WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year?
Yeah, I would be very surprised.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you.
I'd be pretty surprised if he doesn't have an idea who he wants to win the Rumble.
Okay, and let's say Triple H doesn't have that same idea, and Triple H goes with his idea because of what was just said at the talent meetings, and then Vince comes in after the Royal Rumble and says, fuck that, Elimination Chamber, I'm putting it on the person that I want because he's putting his Rumble spot on the line because he's a dumbass, and then at WrestleMania, we get what the fuck I've been saying that we were going to get the entire time because I now run creative again.
That is the concern. And it is with having 80% share of a company, it's pretty hard to tell somebody no. At the end of the day, it is their company. He can fucking fire Triple H if he wants,